So much going on in the market. It's honestly quite exciting and quite entertaining to watch. I was gonna, I don't even find myself watching Netflix or any getting entertained by shows anymore. Going on today is so entertaining, but it's also so important things. And I wanted to do a live sit-in as we kind of watch Trump speech and crazy things that are happening in reference to the House shutting down and a bill that is being basically changed to be more effective or more efficient, I should say, which means cutting spending or the negative as Elon Musk participating with Donald Trump and his administration. This is why I said earlier in our first episode, if you go back to the test one, we have to become grateful for each other, our differences, everything, and a lot of power who quite simply can't make decisions without quitting and blaming others. This version, but what I'm pretty much hearing is that the are blaming the Democrats because the Democrats are blaming. You have to understand that I've went without voting, and I started my life caring. Politics was something that I my mother over, so it had a very dear place in my heart. So I say all of these things with a necessary evil. But as you grow older and as you mature, you realize that we can argue back and forth about minute details of the story, and we can point fingers and well, that person is to blame. But at the end of the day, have allowed our government to become too big, and it's not productive. From the standpoint of they can't come to a simple agreement in a bill, and it's not productive because space that have pretty much said, we had enough of the government. And even when you look at the government, has mesomorphed so much, it doesn't stand for the same ideals as it stood for in the development of this country. It's funny to think about how much we get taxed and do nothing and stay sheep, where wars were started for 2% tax. 2% tax. We can't even fathom today only paying 2% in taxes. Um, because at the end of everything that happened to me, I could not walk. Yelling and screaming about or placing blame to someone else for my happiness for what I'm grateful for the current political situation. It's quite entertaining, but two, it's allowing us to come together, and it's actually giving dominoes of hundreds of years falling. It's just like, or like decades coming, and the only way we can do that is if we ourselves and we demystify any lies that we see. We gotta expose all these lies. You know, there's an obvious agenda because the narrative arguing with another. I know one of the Republicans from Texas made a really solid, more so like everyone's yelling and his fully agree with one another, and it's said and allow people's individualism to upset us to the point that we cannot hear them or find empathy for them. Back to, I talked about it in the first video. We want you to be rich, right? It's a very empathetic book coming from this man and Robert Kiyosaki. And we kind of have to be, not just kind of, we have to be ultra aware of everything that's going on in the political realm. If the government wants to spend more money we have to think as investors, what can we need to be looking at defense companies in which they spend money, because even though they'll take our money, if we can invest our money in something a couple steps ahead, we can't just see news and just be like, all right, cool, that's the news, and we can't get scared of the news. First of all, we got to play chess, right? This is chess, not checkers, and we knew this from the jump. I don't want to say disguise, but it's a huge distraction. It's these people that are for the people, but you have to understand that someone can handicap you for that, right? It's hard to sugarcoat this anymore when grown adults whose only purpose exuberant amount that's unheard of, that's unconstitutional of the people that founded this country was here today. They would literally that you've seen today and that we're seeing as far as CEOs getting assassinated. And I'm gonna just leave it cause and effect that's bigger than the one individual person. And you cannot blame somebody who and say they're the cause of something. They don't have any power. How could they be causing something? Silenced, and we've tried to distract. And I'm talking about this politically, and I'm talking spiritually and religiously. We are fighting the same dumb wars because of people and not being able to appreciate that God stand. Right? It's quite elementary. Nonsense is. I'm grateful I can see it and I can step back and completely attached to this country. So happy for that. Um, but we have to be real. Oath does not come before the politics ever. Ever be more concerned about politics than your wealth. We should not know more about politicians than CEOs. Now this is a straight red pill talk. So we going really on what's going on. We have a lot of important things going on. I'm seeing a lot of people talk about MSTR and we just have to pay attention, right? We have to pay attention to all our leaderships. Of course, we have the Elon and we have the Tesla arm mind and an innovative mind and a prophetic mind will all has been looked at by the evil eye by those who already came in power that were corrupt. Things. We have to pay attention to body language. We have to pay attention and understand that most of the people that have power today eliminate, make some cookies, take care of the grandkids. We need to understand, and this is my overall. I do love Donald T, but we need younger people in office. We need younger people. We do not need people over 60 in office, period. We don't. Now, a lot of people might not agree with that, but I don't believe we need it. I believe they serve a different purpose, and I believe we should have councils. But I do not believe we need anyone over 60. And all right, Donnie boy, you gonna talk to me nice? Donnie boy gonna talk to us nice tonight. All right. Donnie boy is gonna talk to us nice.
But we don't want to do that nice and slow. But
He's funny.
what a beautiful production the whole group does.
Not the Sleepy Joe falling down.
Amazing. It's really been tremendous numbers of American patriots. It's really been great. And you saw what happened last month. Grassroots army. It's an army. They turned out to vote, and they voted in. Spoke backstage. I said, "Hey, are there any steps in front of me? I don't want to go down. I go down. That would not be good. We don't want to do that nice and slow." But I just want to thank you. What a beautiful production this is. What a great job the whole group does. And Been amazing. Turning Point's been amazing. We had Turning Point's grassroots army. It's an army. They turned out to vote, and they voted in record numbers, and everybody else voted in record numbers too, I have to tell you. And we did something that was really epic. We won a battle that a lot of people thought was very hard to win. You know, too big to rig. Remember what I said? Too big to rig. We'll make it too big to rig. We're going to win. And it really was one of the great political victories in the history of our country, and that's good. They said one of the very big radical left newspapers said the most consequential election in the last 129 years. And I said, couldn't they have made it a little bit longer than that? You know, 129 years, but that's pretty.
Talk that shit, T.
And I used to hear the. And they always would say, well, he didn't he didn't win the popular vote. He won the electoral college. You know, they'd say that low. But we actually did very well then, but we did really well the second time. And this time, we blew them away. So we won all 7 swing.
He's competitive. He got to talk his shit.
Presidential year since 1928. That's a pretty good day. Tremendous gratitude to Charlie Kirk. He's really an amazing guy. Amazing guy. And his whole staff for their relentless efforts to achieve this very historic victory. It's such a great honor. It's not mine to contribute to. It's a great honor.
Humble. That's a humble statement right there.
We worked hard on this. We knew bad things happened in 2020. If I didn't know that we won in 2020, I wouldn't have done this because it would have been like the ultimate poll. Right? We won by a lot. And this time we said, well, no, we really win by. We won by so much. It just, you know, they threw at about 9 o'clock. They said, man, these guys can't. They threw it back. They said, we're home, and we had no riots. We had no anything. It was a beautiful day to watch. They just said, we lost.
Yeah, they really tried to say they were afraid because the January 6th riots would break out again. Hilarious. That's important right there, right? Because you know, I have mixed because everyone jumps off a bridge. My mom used to say this all the time. Just because everybody jumps off a bridge, that mean you're gonna jump off a bridge too. And everybody is fracking oil and I guess the people that have the most control over the and I get it. But I mean, I get it and then I don't get it at the same time because I'm all about being an individual. I'm all about being able to not just but let's go beyond that. Let's emulate it. We are of nuclear energy and hydrogen energy. And at the end of the day, hydrogen and nuclear energy are the best energy sources. You can, you only need a golf ball of, but you only need a golf ball of that for you to run your entire life off of, including driving, including flying. Oil is obsolete. Oil is old, men. We need to move forward drastically. We don't need to just beat around the say it straight to the truth. He likes to beat around the bush about autism and vaccines and the chemicals. How can you? It's into this country outside of, slavery, of course, right? But this is something that is affecting every fucking body. This is bio warfare. And we're just sitting here like, oh, we got to see what the cause and effects are. No, when we have disease, they don't put these chemicals in other countries. They don't have the thing. So we already know what it is. We don't need all that. I don't need any of that. It's clear to see. It's obvious. It's common. It's common sense. It's common sense. Use your dome. Drink. Grow your own food. Understand that we don't need pesticides. Understand that we don't need antibiotics. Understand that we don't need as much meat as we're eating. Like this is simple stuff. Right? Understand the power of fasting. Understand this. We need to just break down this oil thing because I don't. Be, look at me. I'm trying to justify. It's not smart. It's fucking old. It's for old people to say whoever. It's old. It's obsolete. It's done. Use water. Electrocute water. Create hydrogen energy. Use the hydrogen energy and use small nuclear reactors for everybody. Like, let's evolve, please, people. Let's evolve.
And outsmart it. Always outsmart. You gotta be smart too, and out-organize the radical left opposition. Not in terms of numbers, but I will tell you something's happened. That was a big defeat for them. Nobody expected the numbers. You know what happened? The pollsters went around, and whenever anyone said it's none of for, they said it's none of your business. And sometimes they said much tougher language than that, but I'm not going to get into that because I'll get. He says, "Please, sir, please don't use."
But let me go there and vote for Kennedy. That was my intention. When Kennedy dropped out of the race, my intention was to not. If his name is on the ballot, I'm voting for the boy. I'm rocking out. I agree completely and 100% for what he stands for. This man has bought hundreds of millions of dollars in justice from Monsanto and genetically modified foods, and he has fought in the Hudson River. He has fought to protect port that I've been benefiting from since 1518 or 1513 with the FBI. So it's just like I rocked out with this man. So I was gonna go vote for Kennedy. You know what I mean? I made sure my smooth dark black ass had his license ready in here since I just moved out to Colorado. I had to make sure I got everything right so I could vote, and I did that. Um, and I was going in there with the intent. He wished people would just have listened to him and said, trust the fact that Trump gave his word that he would be a part of the political campaign and he would still be able to get most of the things that he wanted to get done in that seat, in that role. So, like, especially being African American, right? And you see Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, my first initial reaction is to go, Kennedy didn't step into play, enough Elon didn't step in, right? Because to me, it became something bigger than just the short term of the next 4 year perspective. If they something for the children, for the girls in this world, and I have a special place in my heart for those, for that energy and for the feminine energy to be respected. And my masculine will want to protect the feminine. So from that standpoint, I was like, I'm cool with it. Educated. That was me just from first glance, but I had to do my research. I had to do my due diligence. Advocate for health because health is what allowed me to grow on my spiritual journey. If it wasn't the mindset I have, and I wouldn't have had the opportunity to grow and read so much if I didn't have that. So I'm like forever grateful for that, and I'm grateful that that incident allowed me to go deeper into my important thing for me. That is my number one priority. Health, then wealth, right? No, we have to know our priorities. Health, wealth, politics. We have to get those priorities in order, family. You see what I'm saying? So I knew health was the most important. Kennedy, health. He did the most work, right? You know what I mean? You know what I do. I go back and I see who did the talking, who put the money where the mouth was, right? And Kennedy did that. Time, you know what I mean? This man has sued, I think, over like 12 different alphabet agencies, baby. He was suing them. And this man has spent and dedicated his entire life to ending corruption as an environmental protection lawyer. Man, you got to protect the planet first, man. And it's like through protecting the planet and adding value to the planet, you create wealth. And that's going to be how we're going to make our money here. We're going to make our money in line with getting excited, got a little cold. But look, we're going to make our money investing in the truth. Point being clear, like we're going to make our money investing in the truth. So yeah, so that's pretty much the reason why. And then Elon, hearing Elon, again, and then of course hearing Kennedy talking about some. I mean, Kennedy and Elon didn't talk to Trump until after he was already assassinated. When he tried, after that assassination attempt, they analyzed the Democratic Party, the Biden administration, and what Kamala stands for. Because if got an assassination attempt, I probably would have voted for her. I'm not even like, to me, it's clear. I'm not a scarecrow. I'm not a tin man. I'm not a cowardly lion. This is not the Wizard of Oz for me. I understand what America. And the last president, the last two presidents they assassinated, I would have voted for. So we gotta wake up. If you would have voted for Kennedy, uh, uh, Kennedy, OG, Robert F. Kennedy, if you would have voted for Abraham Lincoln, then you gotta take a step back and be like, why would they try to shoot this man? And then, the assassination attempts were literally fitting the. It sounded like their MO. Let's get back to T though.
Language. You speak so beautifully. You can do just as well. Actually, it doesn't. But when they said essentially it's none of your business, that was a Trump vote, and they had the highest rally size. Look at this. Here we won. There's no reason except celebration, but that's not a bad reason. Look at the crowd. There, 7,000 or 8,000 people standing outside. They can't get in. Would anybody like to give up their seat, please? Huh? Doing this for years, I don't think I've ever had anyone say yes, yes, I'll give it up. Just one person, nobody. The Democrats and the media said the Turning Point could never run a ground game. They weren't experienced. They didn't know Charlie, right? But when the ballots came in, the other side really didn't know what. We don't want this. We want people to be happy and healthy. But they did. They lost
Speak
their
on that.
confidence.
Speak on that.
Television now, they're all befuddled. But they did. They lost their confidence, and hopefully they'll lose it for
Just
a long
that
time.
over
They come
60
over
part,
our
the
side
mom
because
comment, but it's all right. We still love
wanna
T.
have them. We want to have them. And we're going to have some inauguration on the 20th. We're going to have something. It's going to be good. Going to be good. And together we won the largest share of African American voters of any Republican in modern history.
Make them up. Talk that shit.
American votes than
Talk
any
that shit.
Republican ever, and we won the vote. We won the Latino.
Jesus Negro right here, baby.
Very beautiful woman, but a man you are not. Latino. Okay, that's what's always happening. Listen to this. Who likes to be called Hispanic? But we won half of all voters aged 18 to 29. There's never been anything like that. We won by 36 young people.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the highest share of youth vote of any Republican.
Now this is key. The reason why I'm gonna break that down. The reason why that happened is simple. Trump was the most transparent on social media. He went to countless podcasts. He showed up. Across their words and tell us lies directly to their face and read off a teleprompter that we know they did. Kamala did not go to I don't think she did a single damn podcast, bro. She wanted all the podcasts to be all buttoned up. Joe Rogan talked about it. She wanted her podcast. She was just, why are you, huh? And then you're giving demands. You're giving demands to someone who can help you engage the audience of millions of people. That means you're basically demanding that millions of people they conform to how you want to give them information instead of you meeting them where they're at and you're supposed to be their leader. It didn't make sense. That's the reason why that happened. It's quite simple. It's not because Trump's exceptional. It's not because Trump some just like, oh my goodness, like I want to vote for Trump. He's amazing. He's going to save us. He's going to help me for the future. No, Trump already got his bag. His family already rich, young.
Ever before in history. And we had great people. My son Barron said, Dad, you got to see this one, this one. He said he likes Joe Rogan a lot too. He said, you got to see Joe Rogan, Dad. you got to do an interview with these people, and he has
I ain't watched
a
this.
feel for young people. I guess that's a nice thing to have when you're young, but he has a feel for it, and it was amazing. So we got the highest vote ever for a Republican candidate. We won by 36 points with young people. That never happens. A Republican loses by 36 or 40. Start thinking.
He got the dance for it.
We did go on TikTok, and views. They brought me a chart, and it was a record, and it was so beautiful to see. And as I looked at it, I said, maybe we got to keep this sucker around a little while. Who wants to? Oh, look, I see Sheriff Joe. Sheriff Joe, could we use you on the border? Stand up. Sheriff Joe. Look at that. He had no problems with the border. You could straighten your border. You're looking good. And we miss your wife, right? Your great wife. She's up there proud as hell of you. But he had no border problems. You didn't have any border problems. And we'll do that very shortly for you. We're going to have, you have a governor that doesn't know what the hell she's doing. You have people that don't know what they're doing. Then we're going to change it because your border is a disaster. Your border is a disaster, what's going on. And you just have a few days to wait. We're going to be fully operational, I would say, by about 2 o'clock on the 20th. 20th of January. With your help, we gained 23 points with voters under the age of even 25. Think of that. We gained 23 points. And in the election of 2024, our move will define our country's future. I believe it's going to define our country's future for generations to come. That's going to happen. It's
Golden age.
Some people called up that are great people, actually. Great business leaders called, a lot of them. And some of them weren't exactly on my side, but they're on my side now. But they said there's a light over not only the country right now, but over the entire world. And it is happening. And we want to get some of these wars that would have never happened, like Russia and Ukraine would have never happened. We wouldn't have inflation. We wouldn't have had that Afghanistan horror show, that horror.
Talks about this light over the world, right? And this is the reason why I feel so inspired to start creating again, because we are at a point where the ratio of light from a spiritual perspective is outshining the dark, you know, and that's the beautiful thing. That's the bigger picture we must all believe in, no matter what happens, is that the light is shining. That the light is shining, you know, and it's political markets have now caught up to the age of Aquarius understandings that, you know, a lot of the spiritual community has been aware of for quite some time. You know, I became aware of the chemicals and the pesticides and the foods and the sugar and the fake sugar, the sucralose, the dextrose, the sucrose. Like there's supplement companies. I'm not gonna say no direct names, but there's supplement companies, and I guess I can't be bad. I used to sell the supplements, right? But they still had sucrose in it. Like this is America. This is America. Okay, so this light is occurring. This light that is allowing us to see. Light exposes lies, right? It exposes truth. So, you know, that's what he's pretty much talking about. It's the age of Aquarius. We're in the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius. Having fair opportunity and taking care of each other. Not handicapping each other, but taking care of each other.
Left, leaving billions of dollars of equipment behind, and 13 soldiers, and you know, nobody ever mentions, and I mention because I love them, and they're all watching right now. 48 soldiers that were horrifically injured. Nobody ever, they lived, and they don't talk about them, but these are incredible warriors that were hurt so badly with the legs and the arms and the face. And for all of us standing before you today, I can proudly proclaim that the golden age of America is upon us. It's going to be a golden age.
Claim it.
There's a spirit that we have now that we didn't have just a short while ago. Sadly, we didn't have one. Who the hell end that one quick? We're going to end it very quickly. Sword, 41 points, which is a record. That's a record. Bitcoin has surged to an all-time record high of $108,000. Congratulations. Congratulations. And just last week, in an overwhelming statement of confidence in our leadership, the CEO of SoftBank, a very highly respected man in Asia, Masayoshi Son, you probably saw it announced that he will be investing, and only because I won the election, 100,000 jobs at least. And all over the world, people are investing now. They're starting the investments, and it's going to be a beautiful thing with the jobs. But they're calling it the Trump effect because even before taking office, we're already bringing in the jobs and opportunity and safety and common sense back to the U.S. We're bringing common sense back. Maybe that's the most important thing. I think common sense is the most important thing, but not only are we seeing it at home,
Staying on it.
We're seeing it abroad as well. The European Union is suddenly talking about buying vast quantities of natural, a lot less expensive. But I've informed Mexico and Canada that they will have to step up and stop the illegal aliens and illegal drugs from pouring into our country. Have to stop.
And the sex trafficking. Come on, speak on it. Let's get out. Let's get them all out.
It goes for many other places. European Union's treated us very, very badly. We have hundreds of billions of dollars with deficits. They don't take our cars. They don't take our agricultural product, but we take theirs. And they've got to be careful. They can't treat us that way. They're not going to be treating us that way for long, that I can tell you. Because we're not going to let them turn the United States into a dumping ground. Why are we paying Canada $150 billion? Essentially, we're paying Canada, and we love Canada. I have so many friends. I love Canada. I love it. But why are we spending $150 billion on Canada? Yet Canada allows people and drugs to flood in through our northern border. You know, we have a northern border.
I'm the same way with these chicks, man. I love these chicks, but I ain't spending all my money on you.
From Mexico in numbers that
I get it.
Never ever been seen before. We had
I'ma
21
love you.
million people come in over the past 4
But
years.
you is not taking no billions for no reason.
Not just South America. Hundreds of thousands more are racing to get across before January 20th. You're going to see it. And I was very strong with Mexico. I spoke to the new president, who was a lovely, wonderful woman, and President Sheinbaum. Wonderful woman, actually, but I said, you can't do this to our country. We're not going to take it anymore. You can't do it. But I've informed Mexico that it just cannot continue. We're not going to let it continue. The United States has lost 300,000 people a year. Think of that. I don't know. I mean, how many people, everybody you meet said, I lost my daughter, I lost my son to drugs, to fentanyl happened. And we're also going to be doing something that's, I think, going to help a lot. We're going to do very big advertising campaigns, just like a campaign for. It'll be a very small amount of money relatively. We're going to advertise how bad drugs are for you, how bad they are. They ruin your look, they ruin your face, they ruin your skin, and ruin your teeth. If you want to have horrible teeth, take a lot of fentanyl.
Don't eat no more McDonald's, Donnie. Don't eat no more McDonald's.
We're going to show what these drugs are doing to you. It's a pretty good ads, right? That's what we explain.
If I see stacks of soda outside the grocery store one more time.
People pour in from prisons and jails and mental institutions, and I always say insane asylums. You know, the press gave me a hard time because sometimes I'd use the word, a name, Hannibal Lecter. They said, why does he mention Hannibal Lecter? That has nothing to do with it. Why would he? I mean, are they stupid? What that is, Silence of the Lambs. We don't want Hannibal. Fair, confident election. But when they went into the booth or they signed their ballot, Hannibal Lecter, that's a bad guy. We don't want him here. They knew that. They didn't like that. They didn't like that I used him because it's a very good example. It's like incredible what they do. We need borders, we need fair elections, and we need a free and fair press. And we're going to try getting all of them. As another example of the things we're doing and looking at, it's such a terrible thing is happening. The Panama economy, the whole world economy, and also national security. The Panama Canal. Has anyone because we're being ripped off at the Panama Canal like we're being ripped off everywhere else. A secure, he just said take it back. That's a good idea. Where do you come from, sir? He doesn't come from Panama. Oh, yeah, good. A secure Panama Canal is crucial for U.S. commerce and rapid deployment of the Navy from the Atlantic all the way to the Pacific. It's an incredible thing, and drastically cut shipping times down to U.S. ports by days. Percent of all transits heading to or from U.S. ports. Think of that. So we built it. We're the ones that use it. They gave it away. Considered one of the great wonders of the world. The Panama Canal opened for business 110 years ago and was built at huge cost to the United States, and it really is big when you consider the lives and the treasure, the equivalent of $1.2 trillion today. You don't hear those numbers. 38,000 American men, almost all men, they went there to be construction workers and dig. They were diggers, and they were from infected mosquitoes in the jungles of Panama during the construction period. Think of that. We lost 38,000 men. Teddy Roosevelt was president of the United States at the time of its building and understood the strength of naval power and trade. When President Jimmy Carter foolishly gave it away for $1. During his term in office, it was solely for Panama to manage and not for China or any other country to manage. You see what's going on there? China. Panama to charge the United States, its Navy, and its corporations doing business within our country exorbitant prices and rates of passage, which they do. They charge us like it's a disgrace. Our Navy and Commerce have been treated in a very unfair and injudicious way. The fees being charged by Panama are ridiculous, highly unfair, especially knowing the extraordinary generosity that has been bestowed to Panama, I say very foolishly, by the United States. This complete ripoff of our country will immediately stop. It's going to stop. The United States has a big and vested interest. Can you believe that? We would never have done it if we thought what's happening now can happen, and we will never, ever let it fall into the wrong hands. But it's falling into the wrong hands. It was not given for the benefit of others by a token of cooperation, but it was given that the Panama Canal be returned to the United States of America in full, quickly, and without question. I'm not going to stand for it. So, of Panama, please.
I'm going to have to do more research on this one.
William
I'm
McKinley,
not
the
aware
25th
of
president
Panama
of the
Canal
United
at all.
States, was because of the vast sums of money that he brought into our country. The person really who got us the money that President Theodore Roosevelt used to build the Panama Canal and a lot of other things. McKinley was a very good, maybe a great president, a very good businessman. He was a businessman, then a governor, very successful businessman, and then he ran for president, and he won. And he was able to use business principles. He was a strong believer in tariffs, and we were actually probably wealthiest of 1890s. We were so wealthy. We had commissions set up what to do with all the money that we were taking in. We had no income tax. We only had tariffs. I consider that to be the most beautiful word in the dictionary. That spent. So let's say they were both excellent presidents, but McKinley did that, and that's one of the reasons that we're going to bring back the name of Mount McKinley, because I think he deserves it. Things we can name, but I think he deserves it. That was not very gracious to somebody that did a good job, and as you know, he was assassinated. He was assassinated. We have accomplished so much in just 47 days since the election. But that's only the beginning of what we will achieve together as the 47th President of the United States of America. Of some of the most fearless, determined, and brilliant individuals. I have to say, they're all doing well, but we're getting fantastic reviews on the people that we chose. It's we chose, because I wouldn't choose them if I didn't think you liked them. I don't have that kind of courage. You like every one of them, and everybody. I mean, people are amazed at the quality. Our Secretary Scott of the Treasury was his central casting, the whole group. But to get wokers out of our military and restore the unquestioned strength and fighting spirit of the American Armed Forces, I've appointed Pete Hegseth to be our next military, including when we were on. Talk about the military. You talk about how unfairly our soldiers were treated. Can I give a pardon to this one or that one who was treated so unfairly? they teach them to be fighting machines, and then when they fight, they want to put them in jail for 35 years. And he was very strong on that. That's all he wanted to talk about, really. It just seemed so natural to me. Plus, he had a great education, went to Princeton and Harvard, was a tremendous student, and he's a very vibrant, strong guy. I think he's going to be great. He's doing well to make our intelligence even more. I don't even think the word even, because we had some bad years with these people. But we're going to do something. We're going to stop looking at all of these horrible that I wiped out ISIS. We wiped out ISIS in a small fraction. They said it was going to take 5 years. It took 4 weeks. We have a great military. Tulsi Gabbard as our Director of National Intelligence. And to be our next Secretary of Kennedy.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Uncle Bobby, baby. Uncle Bobby, baby.
Think of it. Think of this. 25 years ago, autism.
You hear that clap?
10,000. We're going to figure it out. But did you have your numbers like that? Something's wrong.
That I think so is some bullshit. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we here for.
And to end the weaponization of law enforcement and restore fair, equal, and impartial justice, we will have an outstanding new Attorney General in Pam Bondi. She's fantastic. She is fantastic. Known her a long time. And I'm very... And he will soon be replaced by our next FBI director, somebody who I think is going to be one of the greatest.
So his average is good. Trump is he chilling. His average is good.
And last month, the American people voted for change like they'd never voted before, and in overwhelming numbers that nobody saw coming. I saw coming. And they'd go out the next day and they'd have 30 people, maybe 40 if they were lucky. How it was going to be a close race. I said, why is that? Why is that? I don't quite get that. But now the Republican Senate majority is working very hard to confirm my nominees, and we appreciate it. And with the help of this dream team cabinet, and we have so many others I won't bother mentioning, but you know every one of them. Renewal in all of American history. We're going to do something that's going to be really, really special. You're going to be so happy. Now I intend to keep those promises to the American people. And just as we did 4 years ago, my administration will live by the motto, promises made, promises kept. We did keep our promises. And there's a new hat. There's a brand new hat that's out. I saw it yesterday. The first time it is selling like hotcakes. It says, Trump was right about everything and said that he wants to meet with me as soon as possible. So we have to wait for this, but we have to end that war. That war is a horrible, horrible... The soldiers, the number of soldiers being killed. It's a flat plane, and the bullets are going, and there's powerful bullets, powerful guns, and the only thing that's going to stop them is a human body. They go dead flat land. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We're seeing numbers that are just crazy. Got to stop it. It's ridiculous. Would it never happened if I was president? That so much. Our country would be so different, and the world would be so different. But it's not. So we have to make it great. We're going to make it great. We're going to do it as quickly as we can. On my first day back in the Oval Office, I will sign a historic slate of executive orders to close our border to illegal aliens. We will begin the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than that of President Dwight D. Eisenhower. And as part of Operation Aurora, you know all about Aurora, how horrible that's been. Every single foreign gang and illegal alien member, all of this criminal on American soil will be dismantled, deported, and destroyed. Gonna get them out.
Helps with logistics, and this company just got a 10-year contract. We're gonna go deep into this tomorrow, but this company just got a multi-agency 10-year contract with a zero spending limit, Big Bear AI, and they have a product that's built on Palantir's foundry called Aurora. And we can see. Just got a 10-year contract this past week, right? Not even 5 days. Common sense. We got to understand. This is the way this need to be able to play chess. We now
busload after busload. We had a straw. What the hell was that? You get the little yips up here every once in a while. I wonder why. It was a strange sound. Heard some very strange sound. Every foreign gang member will be expelled, and I will enforcement, ICE, Border Patrol. How good is, by the way, how good is Tom Homan, right? Joe, yes, yep. He goes, yep. The DEA, the FBI, the intelligence community, and financial sanctions to remove the migrant maiming our citizens. We're going to get them out. We're going to get them out. We're going to get them out fast. I don't want to do that, but we have a thing. But this will show something. This is going to show at an approval rating of 14. That's the lowest approval rating, and we're going to have a very high approval rating. We're way up, way up, higher than almost anybody, higher than anybody as of this morning. We will end the occupation, and January 20th will truly be Liberation Day in America. Is that okay? Liberation Day. And this great liberation will be in honor of all of the victims of migrant crime and all of the angel moms and angel dads who have lost really incredible kids that, you know, they're going around for years and we can just say, we love you, we're with you. And they had so little help from the politicians on the other side. We joined alien monster who entered our country under the open border policies of the Biden administration. Your borders are always not too good. Your borders are, that was not Tom Homan, I can tell you. But Patty, those days are over and they will soon be over, I hope. We're just not. It's going to be rough, and it's going to be rough for the ones that do that kind of damage to you and to our country. Where is Patty? Is she here someplace? I just want to thank her. Hi, Patty. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you, darling. Do you want to come up for a second, Patty? I had lunch with Patty, and she suffered greatly. Because I want to help her with her eyes. She has an eye situation that can be fixed with some medical help. Many of them can't be fixed. I said, Patty, get your eyes taken care of. I'll take care of it. Just get it done. I hope you got it done. Did you have them done yet? Did you have it done yet, Patty? That's great. Oh, you look good, Patty. Did you have your eyes done yet, Patty? Just get that done, okay?
The first time I met President Trump in person, he invited us to lunch, my attorney and I. And to be honest, I didn't do anything. I just sat there. I didn't really speak because I wanted to watch the man and listen to what he had to say and what his. So I watched him. I watched how he interacted. I also watched how much he really respected him and how much his staff loved working for him. But the thing that when you spoke to him, you could see in his eyes that he genuinely cared about his fellow human being. But the thing I appreciate the most is that he heard the cries of a mother. And that's all you can ask. But also just from a fellow human being. And so I personally, I am so honored to know this man and to think of you as a friend.
Thank you very much. She's been through hell. Who wouldn't be? I mean, so many people, so many. They go through hell, and many of them say it doesn't get any better. But we have to hope it does get better. He's right. Hey, Paul, come on up here, Paul, quickly. Paul, in 1 month, the Patriots of Border Patrol will once again have well, we won, so I guess I don't have to use it, but we have to have strong, safe borders, and we have to men like this, and women who are doing an unbelievable job. I've gotten to know a lot of them. I'll tell you what, they're tougher than I am. I don't want to mess with them, right? But this man has done as the head and also replacing a very good guy. We know that, right? Few words, please, Paul. I mean, we're back. Do it again. We're going to make all of these communities safe. And like Tom Homan said, if you're tree, and he's going to show everybody exactly why. Thank you. Thank you very much, Paul, and everybody, and Brandon Judd, all of the people. They do such an incredible job. We're also pleased to be going to a big event in a little while. Where's Ted Cruz? Is he?
Ted Cruz, baby. Ted Cruz. 3 Bitcoin miners, man. Senator of Texas, man. He
Oh, good.
And I've got to say, this election has given President Donald J. Trump, a Republican, is going to protect American families. We're going to put criminals in jail, our kids safe. We are going to end foreign wars with Victor back, and we are going to deliver results.
That's what I like.
In the great state of Texas. That is unprecedented.
I was really out there working. Oh, I'm so glad he was here. Oh, and the governor's doing a fantastic job in Texas. Your senator, or just say hello to him. He's on the outskirts. He's got a lot of people in this room. You got a lot more people outside than you have in the room.
It takes 3 things to win in a ballot. You got to protect the ballot. And number 3, you have to have a great candidate who runs a great race. But when it comes to having a great candidate who runs a great race, there is simply nobody better.
He really has, and Laura have done an incredible job. What a pleasure. They were fighting.
Homie, it's important to pay attention to all these people. I definitely got Ted Cruz notification.
You know, where's Gina? Because we're going to be backing Gina to run again. There she is, Gina. A friend of mine, he's really a good golfer. Tom Pernice is here someplace. Tom, wherever you may be. Hello, Tom. At a level that very few people can even dream of. So I want to thank you very much. Trish Duggan, please. Thanks. Where's Trish? She's a good woman, and she's going to be doing something very big. Maybe hard. Where's Sergio? He's around here someplace. Sergio, where is he? Hi, Sergio. Long time when it wasn't fashionable. Rob Schneider. Rob, not quite as fashionable, right, Rob? But you were here. Thank you very much. Karen Robeson. Where is Karen? Karen is here. And she's, I hear, running for governor. She's going to be running for governor. Where's Karen? Hi, Karen. Hello, Karen. If you do, you're going to have my support, okay? You're going to have my support. A man that is very non-controversial, a very unique, he really is a unique person, but he doesn't like controversy. His name is Steve Bannon. Has anyone ever heard of him? Where's Steve? Hello. Hi, Steve. A big, powerful voice he's got. His show is phenomenal. War Room. And thank you, Steve. Police officer who was shot 8 times in the line of duty, Tyler Moldovan, who I just saw backstage. Where's Tyler? Oh, he's got to be right there. There he is. Hi, Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. 8 times. Can you believe that? Think of that. 8 times, and he's looking great. Thank you very much, and to your family, beautiful wife. With the stroke of my pen on day 1, we are going to stop the transgender lunacy.
Speak on it.
Executive orders to end child sexual mutilation of our elementary schools and middle schools and high schools.
Speak on it. Look at the crowd.
And we will keep men out of women's sports. 1. Should I do day 1, day 2, or day 3? How about day 1, right? Under the Trump administration, it will be the official policy of the United States government that there are only 2 genders, male and female.
His hand gonna go numb signing all those executive orders day 1. He bout it though.
Orders to end all Biden restrictions on energy production, terminate his insane electric vehicle mandate, cancel its natural gas export ban, reopen Anwar in Alaska, the biggest site potentially anywhere in the world, and declare a national energy emergency. And do we have great people in energy, head of energy, Chris Wright, and I merged both of them. You know, the energy had no energy. It just had the right to, please, President Trump, stop. We have too much. The prices are going too low. Remember, we were $1.84 a gallon gasoline. I will direct every cabinet secretary to cut 10 old regulations for every new regulation, which I did last time. We'll be getting rid of a lot. Last term, for me, we did something special. We cut more regulations by 4 times than any other president in history. And we're going to, ridiculous regulations were immediately put back on, and they were just hurting our country. That's why we had the best job numbers ever, because of what we did with
This is facts.
Cutting the taxes or cutting the regulations. Every single one of them so far has said the regulars to get back to the office in person or be terminated from the job immediately. And no, he's not taking the presidency. Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, that's not happening. And I'll tell you,
Common sense.
Landed a few months ago. It landed. It's coming down so fast, 17,000 miles an hour. He says, coming down. It looks like it's getting ready because nobody ever saw this before. And then it has the big gantry, very expensive. It looks like it's going to be smashed. Just pushed it straight. It landed. And it was like you're hugging a beautiful baby. No, not that baby. But it was the most incredible thing. And then he supplied Starlink for North Carolina, where they had no form of communication. And I called Elon, we have to get some up there. You got to get some up there. And he got over 2,000 units. It's a lot. And I want to thank him. But no, he's not going to be president, that I can tell you. And I'm safe. You know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country. But we're going to bring transparency and accountability back to our government. And I hope everybody goes home and reads the congressional report on the criminal activities of the unselect committee. And it's terrible. What they've done to this country is just and restore equality to our land and all over our land. And you see that happening so much with the vote and the kind of vote we got. Nobody ever expected anything like that. And unlawful policies we're going to ban them from the private sector as well. By the Supreme Court, our country has again gone back to the merit system. That's what made our country great. And I want to just thank the Supreme Court because that took. You know, Ronald Reagan wanted to do it many, many years ago, but names of our great military bases like Fort Bragg, we're going to get them back. Woke is bullshit. In addition to the military bases, I understand they want to now rename 14. Take the name off and put another name down. I can imagine whose name they're going to put up. Not going to happen with me. It's not happening with me, I can promise you that. In turn, we're going to give them the best, day one, the biggest. And in conclusion, on January, incompetence, national decline, and we will inaugurate a new era of peace, prosperity, and because when I agreed to do this, and I had to do it for Charlie, because he's in at 4:45 in the morning, and I'll fly here, but we have to acknowledge and take care of the people of Arizona because you were fantastic, and I just want to thank you for that big win. Not an easy win. We're going to buy American, and we will hire American. World War III, and we're very close to World War III. You're going to have to be tough. We can't let this happen. Our cities are crumbling. And give our police the support, protection, resources, and respect they so dearly deserve. And I rebuilt our entire military.
Now, that Arizona, he just threw out a play. If we're paying it, right? Got to constantly be decoding the matrix. There's connections with Arizona. We have to created a plant to create this U.S. based is looking like the I guess semiconductor valley of the future. You got to pay attention. These chips that Taiwan Semiconductors makes is important for the whole entire technological landscape in the future. And I like from and being able to have that in America is probably one of the most important things. These are all the things we got to pay attention to and understand how they go from one thing.
Sure, we gave a big chunk of it to Afghanistan. You believe that one? What a terrible thing. But we will, again, rebuild those sections of our military that have been so badly hurt. Plus, we give so much of it away. You know, when I came in, I was greeted by the general, sir, we're very low, almost no ammunition. They said, keep it quiet. Let's not let the enemy. Ammunition is not good, Red Steve. And I built so much ammunition so fast, nobody's ever seen anything like it. We give a lot of our ammunition away, as you know. And we have to take care of ourselves. We have to protect ourselves. And we have to make a start. They never had to start. We will rebuild our once great cities, including our capital in Washington, D.C. Always respect our great American flag. We will get critical race theory and the hell out of our schools, and we're going to get it out of our schools very fast. I will restore free speech, and I will defend the right to keep and bear arms. Our country, defend our borders, and protect our citizens. We're going to protect our nation once and for all. Is going to stop invasion of our country any longer. That will stop in just a few very short weeks. Nation, we already are. It's already happened. Remember what I said. There's new light all here, all over the world. Everyone will prosper. Every family will thrive, and every day will be the American dream. Get the American dream back. For the past 9 years, you and I fought side by side against the victory on November 5th. You showed them once and for all that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. 24, it was hard-working patriots like you who turned out and voted and saved our country. That's what happened. After all we have been through together, we now stand on the verge of the four greatest nation under God. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down. Win a lot. And together, make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again.
Let's get it.
And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. And thank you, Arizona. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Those affirmations with it. We will. It was a lot of his, typical talking points that I've noticed throughout, the campaign, addressing the border. The border is very important. I didn't touch too much on the border, but the borders are very important because of the sex trafficking and the drugs. We got to stop the fentanyl. We got to stop we just have to stop it. You know what I mean? Now, I wish we can be a little bit more holistic and get to the point where we can start to understand ibogaine, combo, ayahuasca, and all of these sites, reset the glands. But we're not there yet. We still have 60-year-olds who still, I think something's wrong with us having stuff in our food. Like, yes, my man, something's completely wrong. That you, the president of the United States, have a picture celebrating eating McDonald's, bro. Something is wrong, you know. And no offense to Ray Kroc, I love Ray Kroc, but he's a great businessman. I like the McDonald's brothers, entrepreneurial. Like I said before, when things get too big, they stop becoming productive. Maybe universal law. He also likes to discuss. I mean, you know, a lot of the whole thing has been President must work with smart people. That's being smart, right? The one thing I do like about Trump is, remember what I was saying. Some of the comments he makes is just because he over 60, right? The average of the people that he's bringing into the office is under 60, so he's good. He got Vance, Vec, Tulsi, a guy at the running the FBI. Like, all of these people are younger people, so they're just going to have a deeper understanding of what we need to create a better future. So, you know, we got to be on it. We got to pay attention. We see Arizona is where the jobs is at. We see it. I can smell it. But I had to go get me some money. Shoot, I would love to see what it's like to work a little job. But it's a great move, you know. People can complain or they can be grateful. And, you know, Trump's on a mission. Elon's on a mission. And it's to make America a whole bunch of things again. I'm happy he shouted out Kennedy. If y'all noticed the applause on the Kennedy thing, it was real. Also, the whole gender and theories and changing education. The gender thing is just wrong, man. We all got masculine and feminine energy in us. We're all confused. No offense, right? Like, I understand some people have chromosome differences and the understanding of qualities that bring in masculinity and qualities that accentuate femininity. And it's just that simple. Like, it's not that deep, you know. Changing changing things changing things all from an emotion of how you feel you do, you know, because you're never going to feel emotionally so you're never going to feel emotionally great when you're doing things that learning to understand the losses in life and understanding that things ain't great and shit ain't great and you ain't get like sticking with been dealt is a sign of ultimate gratitude. And I think for me, that's where I get confused on why you want to alter who you are in general. Now, accentuate who you are, I get it. When it comes to cosmetics, I get it. I can even have empathy in my heart for people who want to dress in dresses and cross dress. Created industries off of putting plastic in our bodies and putting inorganic material in our body. I have to where our ego wants to look like something else because somebody else said this is it, this is their version of beauty, so we've confused ourselves and now we don't truly love ourselves and don't see ourselves as beautiful. And that's what it boils down to when you look at some of the nitty gritty behind the reason for wanting to change your entire gender, right? That's just because you can't be, you're not grateful for the cards you was dealt. And it's just that simple, you know, like it brings beauty, and then you can just be whatever you want to love, whatever gender you want to love, you can love that gender, right? Like if you obviously love that gender if you want to change yourself to that gender, so why not just embrace loving that gender, no matter what gender you are? It's just some things we stop using common sense on. But we have to understand how this food and this bio warfare is directly correlated to our hormonal imbalances. And that's something nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about this. Yeah, autistic. or they have to deal with their child being autistic, and that comes with a whole different life. You know, that literally changes the entire trajectory of basically child raising. It makes things a lot more difficult. Now, seeing if there's going to be any biotech companies around curing a lot of these problems is probably like the next wave. I'm just not spiritually excited for the business plan of using more technology to create cures for the technology in food and poisons that we created in food to give ourselves the problem in the first place. See, me, I don't like using fire to count, counterproductive. I like discussing more about nature. I like talking about things that have to do with food forests, agroecology, replenishing the soil. I don't hear Trump talking about any of this. Now, Kennedy knows about this, so thank God, right? Thank God. And that's the reason why he got our vote, right? Because at the end of the day, all the people that voted for Kennedy and stayed true to Kennedy, we don't care about all that other dumb shit between this this person and that person. Yeah, we don't want war, but at the end of the day, we see the bigger problem is the bio warfare. Is the fact that you're celebrating President Trump, you're winning of leading this nation with a company that poisons people with its food products. We gotta wake up. You know what I mean? Like, if he, he said the common suits revolution is coming, so it's coming. It's coming. It's just that once somebody's 60, it's hard for them to understand, right? And that's why you gotta think Kennedy, and that's why Kennedy's, he's the absolute man. He's an all star. He's a Hall of Famer. He's goated, because nobody is doing more pull-ups than my man at his age, or just has taken care of their health, right? That's a byproduct. What people don't sometimes forget and sometimes don't understand is that once you get to, like 70, 70, 80, really any 50 and beyond. Once you get 50 and beyond and you are healthy, which means you don't got fat everywhere, you can still run, you can still do push-ups, you still working out 2 to 3 times a week. That's because you spent decades building that foundation. You don't just not care about your health, never fast, never drink water, never run, never understand the chemicals in your food for 40 years, 50 years, and automatically start looking good in your 60s and 70s. No, you got to deserve that. You got to deserve to be able to do those pull-ups when you're 70. You got to be able to deserve to run around and being able to move and flow and stay healthy. So, I'm proud of Kennedy. I think, this is a beautiful opportunity, right? Because the fracking, the freaking fracking, right? Like, from a business standpoint, it's it's a no-brainer, short term, but it's still stupid long term. I'm gonna always say that renewable energy is the key, no matter how cheap it is. Now, certain renewable energies aren't that efficient anymore because technology has advanced. And that's the reason why we have to look at wind turbines and understand that these things might not be efficient anymore because of how much they are taken to be produced. Right? How much material it takes to produce, you have to account for that being a waste product as well. Now, compressed natural gas, I'm all for compressed natural gas because that's the natural gas that comes out of our poop and waste. So we can actually do amazing things when it comes to if we properly took care of our waste and became responsible for our waste again, especially from a poop standpoint and a compost standpoint, because you can use these things to make biofuel reactors, and you can compress the gas that leaches from your poop and from your waste into tanks, and you can use that for energy. You can use that to heat homes. You can use that to run a miner, to heat a home, to create money. So you could do all these things, right? Now I'm gonna do a deeper dive on some of the people he brought up in Arizona. We got to pay attention to all of these names that he brought up, especially the ones he brought up on stage, and especially that next governor, right? And Arizona's smart, man. They don't make you redo your license, right? Arizona's like the smartest. From that standpoint alone, I like their politicians almost better than any other state. Renewing your license is the dumbest thing I've ever had to. It's so stupid. It's dumb. Like, are you are we still that in the Stone Ages where we can't up like that we need to renew our license every 4 years? In this process, that's just kind of like it is what it is. It's bureaucracy. It's so much red tape. It just doesn't even make sense. So they're doing something unique in Arizona. They are different. If you've never been to Arizona, you gotta make your way to Arizona. It's beautiful. Sedona, Tucson, Phoenix, it's all beautiful. Some of my favorite people in the world live in Phoenix, Arizona. You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta. I can't actually wait to go back to visit my favorite people in the world in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm not even going to hold you. Can't wait. Um, but yeah, I think we're going. I'm thinking we're gonna leave it at that for tonight. We had an hour and 45 minutes on the stream. I appreciate everybody who kind of tapped in. Kind of just saving my energy because we're gonna do an early morning stream with my boy LID, the king. The other co-host is gonna be in the building. But for that, I just had to talk shop, man. It's so much going on that I just had to debrief and get everybody caught up for uh, the magic trick or the disguise or the deception that is currently going on in the political arena so we can kind of stay on top of it. Plus, I just gotta pay homage to Trump, and I gotta pay homage to my boy because if it wasn't for "We Want You to Be Rich," the book he co-wrote with Robert Kiyosaki, I'm not sure if I would even be in the seat, or I'm not sure if I would be equipped to be able to get people the information so they can understand. All right, cool. This is some of the things I need to pay attention to, right? Some of the things I need to understand. Um, I guess I'm gonna watch this. I didn't know anything about the Panama Canal. Let's push our stream.
We've seen Donald Trump, for instance,
Let's
a
get a
month
little
out
smarter.
from taking office, but a month out from taking office, but already sending shockwaves around the world. His latest target is Panama. He's threatening to reimpose U.S. control, charged exorbitant fees.
The fees being charged by Panama are ridiculous.
So they're pulling straight from what we just watched. See that?
Extraordinary generosity that has been bestowed.
Okay, so they're just overcharging, right? And I'm glad we got some amazing. It's amazing, man. It's beautiful. How can you? It's if you invest into the market first, if you invest into yourself, you take care of yourself, you love yourself, you heal yourself, you learn, educate yourself, you start to invest in yourself, you start investing. This cannot be bad for you. So now the thing is, wealth is just a barometer of how much you've invested. Wealth is the barometer of how much you invested in yourself. Wealth is the accumulation of investing in yourself. So, that's why we're here. These political arenas are giving us space to look at the things that are going on right in front of us, and for us to be aware of these opportunities by reading between the lines is what I'm all here. I'm always here for. So I'm gonna be a light on that regard. This was another session on the money where the interest compounds.